got to tell you, it'd be really cool if Spencer Horwitz turns out to be the Pirates' first baseman of the present, the future. Who knows? It's really easy to root for a late bloomer, really in any environment. But I got to tell you this, too. If he makes it, he will be bucking some serious odds. Good morning to you. Good Thursday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Pirates. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or hockey, I also offer daily shots of Steelers, Penguins in the same place that you found this. I know Keith Law. He's a guy that I've both encountered, dealt with many times over the years. I also happen to be a longtime admirer, not only of his content as a scout / evaluator / writer, but also of what's been an uncompromising approach. Unlike so many of the people who do what he does, he couldn't care less who he ticks off. And if that sounds like somebody you might know, then you might have guessed already why I'm an admirer. So the Pirates pick up Horwitz. This is at the winter meetings. And that happens, of course, in the trade that the Pirates and Guardians executed with Luis Ortiz and two prospects in the high teens range going back to Cleveland. Law, at the moment, when it happens on social media, is just flabbergasted. He can't believe anybody gave up anything for Horwitz. He then proceeds to write in the New York Times, and I'm going to read this verbatim, not because I'm stealing his content or whatever, just because I don't want to paraphrase him incorrectly. He's really, really good, again, at what he does. Quoting now, "I'm not a Horwitz believer, as you might have guessed. He played some second base last year for the Blue Jays, but was not good there. So he's a first baseman who has maybe average power and whose strongest skill is his plate discipline. He walks a lot, he doesn't strike out, and he doesn't chase. His hard hit rate and his average exit velocity were below Major League average last year, which is unsurprising for someone who has fringy bat speed at best and no history of hitting for power. Horwitz was 26 this past season and hit 16 home runs between AAA and the majors, besting his previous career high of ... 12. He also didn't hit lefties at all in the majors in 2024 and was mediocre against them in the minors in 2023. Now, it's not impossible for a 27-year-old player to improve, but usually what you see in a player that age is what you get. And I see a platoon first baseman who has to get on base at a very high clip to make up for his lack of pop. Now, Horwitz does address Pittsburgh's biggest offensive problem last year, getting guys on base. Pirates ranked 14th out of 15 teams in the National League in OBP at 301. But Pittsburgh's second biggest problem on offense was a lack of power, finishing with the third fewest home runs in the National League at 160. Now, I have no way of knowing if Law is correct. I've had disagreements with Law over the years. But one of the things that he does that makes people really angry, and again, I hope it's a commonality that we have, is he'll come at you with facts. It's not just going to be some hot take that's full of bluster. Bat speed can now be measured. You don't have to guess at someone's bat speed. Exit velocity can now be measured. You don't have to wonder how hard they hit the ball or how often they hit the ball hard. That's all right there for all of us. To search as we please takes like 3 seconds on the internet. And then from there, you can look at the Guardians, who have much evidence to support that they know what they're doing, had Horwitz at second base and moved him to first because he couldn't defend. So what they had, meaning Cleveland, by every accounting, was a feel-good story. Somebody who came up and hit a handful of home runs for a good team that ended up winning its division, making the playoffs, all that stuff. But is this your first baseman? Is this your guy? When he doesn't have a history of bat speed, when he doesn't have a history of being able to hit lefties, when he doesn't have a history in general of power. And when, by the way, he actually just has too much history, because you can't call a 26-year-old a rookie with a straight face. I mean, you can get technical about it, but if you're citing the term as if to suggest, ooh, there's still more untapped potential there, you're really kind of stretching things. Now, Horwitz, to his credit, was just terrific in a Zoom meeting with the Pittsburgh media yesterday. And as I've said a couple times now, this is a guy you can get behind. I hope he does great, okay? But he himself acknowledged in this interview that he's not necessarily a power guy.
I think I bring a quality at bat and can work counts and can do damage, and damage isn't just home runs. That's what I've learned. It can come in doubles, it can come in triples, and I'm not the burner that might get a lot of triples, but they'll come. And I'm excited just to hopefully contribute to this offense.
So if you're Ben Cherington and you give up the most precious commodity in the sport right now, that being a starting pitcher, who, by the way, is a big dude who's healthy and who made significant strides, particularly with his changeup in the 2024 season, talking, of course, about Ortiz. You give up Ortiz and you throw in two of your top 20 pitching prospects, and you still need to find a platoon solution at first base, and moving Reynolds to be that platoon solution obviously would be kind of weird, having him bounce back and forth between left field and first base. And yeah, you better have this one right. You better not have missed on this. When we come back, J1Q.
It's Gun Storage Check Week. Help prevent unwanted access to your firearms. No one wants their unsecured gun to be used in an accident, a suicide, or a crime. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to secure your firearms. Learn more at gunstoragecheck.org. That's gunstoragecheck.org. Brought to you by NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association.
Abandon ship, Bob. Sell the team. Are you a Pirates fan who is angry or apathetic about our perennial losing baseball team? Do you feel helpless because you don't know how to make a difference? Well, good news. We have something you can do about it. Join our Sell the Team movement. We're a group of passionate fans voicing our frustration and demanding change through billboard campaigns, press outreach, protests, and involvement at local city government meetings. Go to OurTeamNotHis.com to get involved.
Today's J1Q comes from Lee, who asked DK, isn't $100 million something that'll still have the Pirates' payroll in the bottom 5 or 6 of Major League Baseball? There's only one team in that neighborhood that made the playoffs last season, and that was the Tigers. Yeah. I guess I could end the question there, but I know how this works. As soon as you say anything that sounds like it comes with even the slightest trace of a positive tone related to the Pirates management or ownership, you get kind of side-eyed. And I'm used to that. I've been doing that a long time. So if I'll correct somebody, not you, Lee, but if I'll correct somebody on something that I'll see, hear, or read that's wrong, it'll look to some people, I guess the really, really jaded and cynical people, that, you're defending the Pirates, as opposed to just defending the concept of, a fact. So whenever I say things like Bob Nutting is not a billionaire, the reason that I say that is because he's not. There's nothing to defend him from. If he were a billionaire, that's not exactly against the law. What saying that does, though, is it disrupts this narrative, which, by the way, is a weird narrative, that because he's a billionaire, the Pirates should have a higher payroll, as if people spend from personal wealth for corporate gain. Nobody does this. Well, except for the guy who owns the Mets. He's literally the only exception in all of major professional sports. Steve Cohen has openly acknowledged that because he makes $1 gazillion, he sees the Mets as almost like a a fund that he can pour money into. I saw recently that for all that money that the Mets just invested into Juan Soto over the next, whatever that is, 15 years and $750 million, this dude, Cohen, is going to make that back in a matter of months. I mean, just himself. And I don't mean a lot of months. I mean like 2 or 3 months. So to him, it's just like going to the candy store. To every other owner of every other team in every other sport, that's not how it works. And it's not how it works with the Pirates. So is saying that the Pirates are going to be at $100 million offering them like a pat on the back or something? No, they're still, in my estimation, and I've been consistent on this for years, they're about $20 million below where I think they should be. And I don't think that involves some heavy-duty research or math. It's just a matter of looking at the rest of the Central Division. Those teams, including the Brewers and Cardinals, who you know for a fact care about winning, are right around in that 120, 130 range. So the Pirates getting to 100 doesn't mean, woohoo, way to go, what commitment. All it means is that's what's going to happen. That's all. I appreciate you giving me a chance to clear that up for only about the 17 millionth time, Lee. I appreciate everybody checking out Daily Shot of Pirates. We'll be back with another one of these tomorrow.